all anime and manga to be censored in Japan by head of Visa by bullying retailers. What? What? Excuse me? Don't do that. Stop it. Unless I don't know. Depends on what you mean by censoring.
Visa Japan proudly admits to bullying retailers into censorship, all in the name of brand protection. The man that said this looks like this, and first impressions, he looks like a stereotypical supervillain from a comic book. Like, if someone told me this was Lex Luthor, I would believe it. I straight up would, because it's like he has the whole drip.
The only thing that's gonna happen because of this is you're gonna get independent manga artists and anime artists making their own stuff. That's all that's gonna happen. That's probably what he wants, though. Get rid of these big companies. I don't know. This guy's a villain. 100%. Protect the brand. What brand? Get out of here.
Going on, he has the bald, hairstyle going on, he has that smug smile going on. This man, straight up, if you were to tell me this was Lex Luthor, I would believe you, because he does straight up look like Lex Luthor. It's just like, it's so crazy how cartoonishly evil some people can be, and that's basically what we have going on here. So let's get into the main...
I see this guy right here is a gooner. He's got himself some anime titties right behind him.
Main subject at hand, aka this individual right here basically saying he is bullying retailers into censorship in the name of brand protection.
Again, what is he censoring? I want to know. Because, like, if it's some underage stuff, I'm cool with that.
Now, this comment here actually is from this post here on Twitter. I became aware of this a few hours ago, and eventually, through digging and stuff, I found the Reddit post where this spawned from, and then eventually the link to the actual, article here discussing the interview and everything about that. And this is basically what this guy, the head of Visa Japan, had to say. So, Kidney explained that while Visa strives to facilitate legal and legitimate purchases whenever possible, there are instances where the company must restrict usage to protect the brand. Now, before I even get into the main meat here, protect the brand, it's like, facilitate legal and legitimate purchases whenever possible. You're saying that there is illegitimate purchases sometimes? Like, money laundering? Anyways, let's get into the main thing. So basically, restrict usage to protect the brand. What does this mean? Well, this is more or less corpo speak with saying we don't want content that could ruin our image. We don't want content that could potentially get people not to use our said service. I'm thinking to myself, like, I think anyone that has a debit or credit card are not looking at their companies of Visa and MasterCard and be like, these companies are scumbags because they're allowing me to use my money to buy what I want to buy, legally. I don't think anyone is getting upset with Visa.
Yeah, you can buy what you want to buy, but we're going to shut down the things that you're trying to buy. That's what's going to happen. That's what they're doing.
Visa or MasterCard. In fact, censoring and stopping me from being able to use my own money is actually what would cause me not to like your company. That gives your brand...
Wait, is that what's happening? Are we being restricted, or are the companies being restricted? You need to be clear on this.
A bad image. So, what's...
If I'm being restricted, I will find ways around that. There's no problems with that.
Fully happening here for those that are not actually aware. So basically, Visa and MasterCard and a bunch of other credit card companies have been on a crusade as of late for the last few years in Japan, basically slowly squeezing the life out of certain sites where they can no longer sell products or operate as a site because Visa and MasterCard have basically closed shop on those sites. Now, effectively what this means is that there is a...
Visa and MasterCard have closed shop on a lot of people that I like. So, they can, kick the can down the road, get out of here, and you can go fuck off, do their own thing. Everybody needs to stop using them. You need to figure out some other way to get your money and stop using Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, all those. Gotta stop. Gotta get out of it. You know what I do? I use fake cards.
A lot of stuff like Melon Books is a recent site.
They're not fake cards. They're real, but they're temporary. They're all online only.
They covered that houses a lot of different manga and houses merchandise. It also houses, 18 plus content as well. And the thing is, it's completely all legal, sanctioned under Japan, everything like that. It is completely fine to use and buy in Japan on these sites and stuff. And the thing is that Visa, MasterCard, kind of backed out of those sites because they were saying, if you do not censor your content, if you don't do certain things that we want you to do, then we are going to remove ourselves from your site, and you're not going to be able to make any money. Effectively, like literally this post says, bullying retailers into censorship. Because it's like, in Japan, the big go-to credit card companies and debit card companies in Japan is MasterCard and Visa. Crazy, but that is the main usage of, non-cash currency in Japan. And so because of that, most Japanese people, not just, let's say, people around the world, most Japanese people will instantly be locked out from even being able to buy goods from these sites because of Visa and MasterCard backing out, effectively strangling these sites and allowing them to not make any money anymore. And so the only options they have is either close their doors, donations, or they bow down to Visa and be like, yes, we will do as you say, master. We will do exactly what you say.
And then their secret option 4 that actually always happens is the underground rises and the independent artists take over. Happens every time. Like, every time there's any kind of censorship.
And we promise we will never do anything that upsets your company and all that. We will make sure we keep squeaky clean and censor ourselves.
Sure, keep doing that. We see how that's going in the West right now. It ain't gonna work out. And we'll just use the anime culture here in America, which I'm completely fine with, because I think most anime culture is disgusting, and I am an avid anime watcher. I love anime. I watch mostly anime, but I watch normal anime that doesn't have porn in it.
That is basically their options. And this has been a constant back-to-back thing that has happened continuously for the last few years. In fact, this article does cover quite a few sites that were shut down or forced to censor in their own way, like Melon Books, Manga Library Z, Dimpasoft, and Tarana, I can't pronounce that one, DL Site, Fonza, Fantia, Nico, you get the point. There is a lot of sites in Japan that are huge in Japan that are just straight up being strangled by these credit card, debit card companies. And so the fact that we have the actual head of Visa Japan going full-blown mask-off moment and just straight up saying, yeah, they better bow down to...
Yeah, this is very bad. This is a very bad thing. I talk a lot of shit, but I actually think this is very bad for all anime, all good anime. Because what is that, what is bad for the brand? I know what bad for the brand means over here in America, and that means you gotta put a chick in it and make her gay.
Protect our brand image. I'm just like, dude, holy crap. They know they have so much power that there's not much that could potentially stop them. At least maybe in Japan. I don't know. Because there's been even big creators that have called this out and how worrying it is. Like Yoko Taro, aka the creator, okay? The creator of Nier, 2B, 9S, big man in the industry, okay? Famous dev, okay, in Japan. He even spoke out about this recently, how dangerous this situation is going and how it is going to strangle the freedom of expression and writing and speech and all that in Japan. This is a worrying thing. So the fact that they're just straight up admitting it is some insane stuff, especially when they went on record about 5 months ago saying that no, they're not censoring things, they're not doing anything to these sites, it's some middleman doing this. Now it's very clear that that was a load of bullshit.
There's a dog outside. Gotta run him off. Dogs keep destroying everything outside. We're in the middle of nowhere. They're just like stray dogs. There's packs of them.
It's very obvious at this point. One of the big things that does need to be talked about here is that what could be theoretically done. Well, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, But I'm going to assume that some of the like things they've been doing definitely break some laws, maybe antitrust laws, maybe some form of laws in Japan. They're definitely doing some form of crooked stuff. Let's just be blunt here. They are being very anti-consumer, and they are strangleholding the market to where if you don't follow.
And is Visa, MasterCard, isn't that an American company? What are they doing? They're strangling other countries' free speech. We want to give other countries that. That is not free speech. That is not... We don't want this. We do not want this. We need to get Visa and MasterCard out of these other countries that we like if they're going to be doing this kind of bullshit. Because I do agree with some of the anime needs to be censored, but not by these people.
What they want, you're not going to be able to make any money. You're not going to be able to operate even in Japan. And so this is a very worrying thing, because a lot of people like to say they'll just do piracy.
By the way, when I say I want censorship, I do not actually want stuff to not be shown. I just want separate sections for normal stuff and the stuff that's overtly sexual or even has just a little bit of sexuality in it. Just put actual ratings on it and separate it out. Because I don't want to see none of that.
That's not the point here. This is the very source in Japan being strangleholded. This isn't a Western thing. This isn't something that's happening like in Europe or America. This is straight up happening in Japan. And this is obviously companies that are outside of Japan strangleholding the market. And I think one of the big things that this is doing as well, it has some relation to a story I covered recently about a week.
Japan, kick them out. Kick them out. You don't need them. Come up with your own thing. You do not need Visa, MasterCard if they're going to be strangleholding your businesses, your free speech, and making you comply with being Western. Get them out. Sue the shit out of them.
And a half ago with the whole Sony debacle, with Sony potentially buying, Katakawa. And I found out in that video, and I even talked about it, that apparently Japan passed some laws to where companies outside of Japan can now buy up some other companies. In this case, it's very clear that whatever laws are being passed in Japan is allowing these companies outside of Japan to slowly put their tendrils and everything and take control and force Japan to do certain things that they normally wouldn't do. That's clearly what's going on here. So something's got to be done. Obviously, I'm not completely aware of every law within Japan, because
I give it 20 years. And you look ahead in 20 years, and the Japan we know now will not be the same. Anime will be gone. It'll be like trash. It'll be garbage slop. Like how cartoons are now.
I don't live there, but this is very worrying when you see stuff like this. I think that this is obviously very anti-consumer, and credit card, debit card companies have no business stopping someone from using their own money. Because let's just be blunt here. When you get a card, debit, credit card, okay? Let's be honest here. If you've used one, you don't care about the brand image on there, okay? You're a vessel for me to deliver my money to what I want to buy legally on these sites. That's it. You should have no other role. The brand image, that's absolute bullshit. For such a essential product, for something that is so essential to daily life, that just like, the fact that they can straight up censor like this and force these restrictions is astronomically insane. I cannot believe that this is being allowed to happen in Japan. I have heard people tell me that apparently there's some form of investigation in these card companies and stuff recently. I don't know if that's true or not. That's through word of mouth, so I'm not gonna say like that's 100% accurate. That's just what I've been told. And if that's indeed the case, I'm glad there's an investigation. Now, this investigation, I think, is happening in America, so I don't think that this might have an effect maybe in Japan, but these card companies need to be reeled in. There's definitely some corruption going on here, and this man is...
Yeah, they're directly tied to the bankers. Of course there's corruption. They're trying to censor anime. What is that? What business do they have in that? I mean, come on. Get them out. Get them out. That's ridiculous.
It's definitely in.
Like, people need to be talking about this, because this is gonna change. This is actually going to change the culture of the United States and Japan, not just Japan. Because of a lot of our culture is based on anime now.
In the heart of all of it. I mean, this dude, holy crap, Lex Luthor looking, man, like, insane. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this because obviously this is a follow-up / update to the ongoing controversy and issues within Japan with the whole censorship. This is wild stuff. Like, I cannot believe the mask-off nature of this head of Visa Japan to actually do something like this. But, I'll leave it at that. I wanted to talk about this. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.
Yeah, bro, that's absolutely insane. How are we letting this happen? And why is nobody talking about it? It just randomly popped up. This guy had like 600 views on his channel, and it popped up into my feed. Where's the mobs talking about this? All the anime fans. Is the media just like purposely suppressing this because they want it to happen because they're bought out by Visa and MasterCard because everything runs on it? They don't want to get their stuff shut down. This is disgusting. It needs to stop.